sunsets and skies so blue. Mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, then weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people above it all. We know it all.
Good evening, America. Unless you're watching from California, then maybe not so good. Just kidding. Sort of, it's your favorite president, some say the best ever. And tonight, I've got a few things to say. So grab your popcorn, turn off the fake news, and let's talk about what's really going on. It's going to be good, really good.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Hello, folks. Welcome back on World Refugee Day, June 20th, 2025. Today's World Refugee Day, but South Africa's media still continues to list South African legal refugees who have arrived in the United States as refugees, in quotation marks, as if they're not really refugees. However, under U.S. Immigration and Nationality Act of 1980, they are designated legally refugees, and therefore they are. Every time a South African media outlet uses the quotation marks, they undermine and disrespect the sovereignty of this nation. Simple as that. Right, let's get to the news. Before I do, I've come under attack in a secret group or a closed group by someone whom I didn't name, who personally attacked me, called me names, lied about me. And I've seen the screenshots, what this person said in that group. And they're polluting the environment with the Amerikaners. And now the person apparently has done a video, so a 9-minute video. I'll have to watch that video. It just came to my attention moments before we went live, so I haven't seen it. So we'll have to see what the person has to say. But I will tell you this, I don't know who this person is. This person never contacted me to refute anything I said. They simply went on other platforms and slandered me. That's what they did. And I didn't name the person. But now the person has actually made a video, and it'd be interesting to see. But I have not watched it. Let's get to the news here very quickly and see what's going on. Right. World Refugee Day. Today is today, folks. So welcome back to the program as we get underway with the news on this Friday, June 20th, 2025. World Refugee Day. Each day on June 20th, the world honors the strength and courage of people who have been forced to flee their home country to escape conflict or persecution. Notice that, persecution. Yet South African media demonically talks about there's no war in South Africa. No one's in jeopardy here. It's just crime. It's not about crime. It's about persecution, unjust racial discrimination. Daily Maverick ran a story today. One of the few media outlets actually talk about World Refugee Day. This is an op-ed talking about African refugees bearing the brunt of shifting global politics. No. African refugees are suffering the brunt of African missteps and misdeeds. There shouldn't be any refugees in Africa. There should be good governance, and people shouldn't have to flee their homes and be internally displaced persons inside their country or flee to another country as refugee. That's Africa's fault. That's not global politics. This is nonsensical headline from the Daily Maverick by Amy Noel Mbiozo. Excuse me, I got your name wrong. But some interesting charts here. Internally displaced people in Africa has tripled since 2015 and doubled since 2018. Now nearly 40 million Africans, that's 3% of Africa's entire population, is displaced because of conflict or persecution. And they make the point of pointing out the amount of defense expenditures versus how much money is spent on aid. Aid is not refugee money. That's a very different situation. That's a non sequitur. That has nothing to do with this issue, unless the point they're trying to make is that money is fueling the conflicts. But that money is being spent in the developed world, not the developing world where the conflicts are. So, World Refugee Day. I call on South African media to stop using quotation marks and start respecting the sovereignty of the United States. Cyril Ramaphosa fancies himself as a peacemaker, calling for cessation of hostilities in Iran, Israel. Of course, Cyril Ramaphosa didn't say anything last year when Iran fired 180 missiles into Israel, attacking civilian sites in October of 2024, unprovoked. Did he? I don't recall Cyril's, call for calm and peace and, admonishing Iran for an unprovoked attack on civilian targets in Israel, just hurling missiles and murdering unannounced Israelis. I don't recall his peacemaking efforts then. Maybe I missed it. It's possible. President Ramaphosa's call for a dialogue between Iran and Israel. This comes after Israel intensified airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear facilities and key regime leadership sites. Peacemaker, not. Well, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa says the judiciary is going to be independent. I'm confused. I've read South Africa's constitution. It clearly says right in the constitution that the judiciary is independent. It's a separate branch of government. How is it not independent? Well, apparently it has to get its budget from parliament and other administrative things. So now they claim it's going to be independent. Well, then you should change the role of the Judicial Services Commission, which in the constitution is not envisioned to pick judges, but offer advice. But instead it becomes the body that selects judges. How often has the President of South Africa ignored the Judicial Service Commission and picked another candidate who presented themselves over what they've decided? Does that happen? That's a question you should ask. The President has announced plans for the judiciary to be independent. And what authority does he have to do this? The Constitution says it's independent. The judiciary will no longer fall under the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, but will be independent like other arms of state, the executive and legislature. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the Constitution says. There have been amendments to the Constitution regarding judiciary, but they're about appointments. They're not about independence. The Constitution has always said it's independent, a co-equal branch of government, except it's not. It's not. So why is this necessary now? And why hasn't it been the case all along? Ramaphosa proposes to make judiciary fully independent Justice Department. So now the judiciary has to get approval on a range of issues, including budget and filling of vacancies from the Minister of Justice. Why does the Minister of Justice have oversight? Why does a politically appointed person to a ministry who's politically appointed to Parliament to begin with, who is never voted on by a citizen of South Africa, get to decide who the judges are that decide the fate of South Africa's constitution? How is that democratic at all? It's not. It's authoritarian. It's autocratic. South African Human Rights Commission is calling for clarity on the land expropriation policy. Yes, they want to make sure that they can take all the land they can get their hands on. South African Human Rights Commission has observed with concern public discourse at national and global platforms whereby the Expropriation Act is portrayed as a key component of South Africa's land reform agenda. The position of the Human Rights Commission is that the Expropriation Act does not clarify the conditions for equitable redistribution of land. Neither does it represent a compensation framework that is historically sensitive. It merely delineates procedures and conditions under which the state may acquire privately owned land. The Commission emphasized the importance of distinguishing between legal instruments and enable administrative procedures, and these that substantially achieve constitutional obligation. Well, the constitutional obligation is to compensate people equitably and fairly, and that's not what expropriation compensation does. Well, South Africa might be coming off the Great List. Wow, exciting stuff. I don't buy it. The dream come true. South Africa is looking at making a likely exit from the Financial Action Task Force Grey List in the coming months, which would mean they spent 2 years on it. Why are they there? Because of illicit financial flows, financing terrorism, organized crime, human trafficking. That's why they're on the Financial Task Force's Grey List. But they say they're going to come off of it. A KwaZulu-Natal logistics company owner, drivers arrested in a raid on undocumented foreigners. Wow. While the media loves to complain about the United States arresting illegal aliens, look what's happening in South Africa. Premier Tami Ntuli vows to continue to clamp down on business flouting the laws, and she should. KZN Premier has vowed to continue to clamp down on businesses that flout labor laws by employing undocumented foreigners. He was speaking in a raid at Westmead Mining, a Durban-based logistics company where law enforcement officials arrested several workers without documentation. Well, that's what should be done. People should not be allowed to employ illegal aliens, whether it's in South Africa or here. Finance Minister Enoch Gondwana made the news. He wants to support state-funded political parties if they can be afforded. No. South Africa's democracy is already questionable to begin with because you don't get to vote for candidates. You vote for political parties. Now you're going to enrich these political parties by giving them taxpayer money? No. In America, we have a mechanism on your tax form where you can designate $1 of what you paid in taxes to go to, or $2, I think it's $3 now, it's increased. You can designate it to go to a fund that will compensate those who run for office and achieve at least 5% in a presidential election. That's the exception. But the taxpayer isn't required to do that. That's a decision by individual taxpayers. It doesn't raise your tax bill, but of the money you paid in taxes, you can decide that $3 can go to that fund, the presidential election campaign fund. That's your choice. But there is no funding from Congress saying that we're going to give $40 million to these campaigns or $1 billion. That's wrong. That's wrong. If South Africa wants to create a similar thing on your tax thing, you can say, well, donate 100 Rand. Well, that'd be nice. But giving money to political parties, that's corrupt. Well, the former Speaker of Parliament is still in hot water. The judge laments further delays in the Mapisa Nakula corruption case. Judge presiding over former National Assembly Speaker Nosisiwe Mapisa Nakula's corruption case voiced his displeasure upon hearing that more applications for disclosure would further delay the matter. Interesting. Well, yeah, this one's not happening. Notice how whenever these reprobates get in trouble, they switch from Western dress that they wear in Parliament to traditional dress for the court. Look at that. Look at those beads around her neck and that shawl and that headdress. Look at this. Oh, wow. Suddenly, it's all about traditional, seeking empathy. Poor African being abused by the courts. No, stop stealing. Well, one state-owned company has missed 87% of its targets and has spent $2.6 billion in irregular expenditures. Who are we talking about? Someone that we thought was gone. The South African Post Office is still in existence. I thought it was gone, wrapped up and disappeared. But apparently it's still there. Still there. South African Post Office has been a victim of severe and persistent financial mismanagement, poor record keeping, and non-compliance with the Public Finance Management Act. Yeah, the Auditor General revealed this. Let's take a look at some of the stuff here. So, here they are. Outcomes. Annual financial statements, not filed last 3 years. Expenditure management, not filed. Consequence management, not filed. Procurement and contract management, not filed. Revenue management, only filed 3 years ago. Governance and oversight, not filed in the most recent year. And strategic planning, not filed in the 2 most recent years. Yeah, we have a post office. That's what I thought. Shocking. South Africa's post office, but it's a mess. It doesn't meet any of its targets. Langa mob justice. Once again, vigilantes taking justice in their hands. We cannot allow this, folks. 2 suspected burglars are burned alive by angry residents. 2 suspected criminals were burnt to death by a mob in Langa after allegedly being caught breaking into a home. Gruesome videos show the men pleading for their lives before being assaulted and set alight near Sandile and Britain Streets. Police have opened a murder case and are urging anyone with information to come forward. Their charred bodies were discovered on Friday morning in open field. Gruesome footage seen by News 24 shows the 2 pleading for their lives while being beaten and then set alight by a furious mob. The people are tired. Criminals get arrested. They are released on bail and return to terrorize the community. But mob violence is not the answer. Vigilantism is not the answer. Folks, a new $600 million development to build a mall at an existing casino in Cape Town. But I question this decision. I've always wondered about this casino. It's in a very terrible location near Goodwood. And I see the parking lot empty every time I drive by it. So they're going to spend more money here. A new 600 million rand mall is coming to the Grand West Casino and Entertainment World in Cape Town. Flanagan and Gerald Group, in partnership with Sun International, developing 22,000 square meter shopping center to go into that resort. Where's it going to go? They've used all the space. Yeah. They believe the new shopping center will elevate convenience retail in the Western Cape. And apparently they've already drawn the interest of 100 national, regional, and local retailers. So they're going to build this new shopping center. And here's some images, renderings of the new mall. Yeah, if you know where that's at, that's not the best spot. In fact, right by that right now, there's massive construction that's been going on for ages, and traffic is backed up. It's horrible. New laws will force bars and restaurants to make big changes because they're going to ban smoking indoors, and bars and restaurant industry are upset about it. Of course, all it's going to do is push people outside the door smoking their cancer sticks so the rest of us have to breathe it. Yeah. Well, sorry about that, folks. United Kingdom acts like intolerant bully by blocking Julius Malema. Well, really? No, you've acted like an ass, and that's why you've been blocked. Following UK's Home Office decision to refuse EFF leader Julius Malema a travel visa, the party accused British authorities of stifling democratic debate, likening it to an intolerant bully. Really, an intolerant bully. That's the intolerant bully right there, Julius Malema. Well, another South African parastatal that's just really a mess, folks. Another mess. South African company that hasn't published financial statements for 5 years. Denel last published a financial statement in 2019-2020, when it was already insolvent and had a 2 billion rand loss. Their liabilities exceeded assets by almost 2.3 billion at that time. So one of the state-owned companies, ZANU Commission, found severely suffering under state capture. Corruption and mismanagement gutted the once proud arms manufacturer, which developed great products like the Rooivalk and the G6 self-propelled howitzer. Well, there's a CFO. There's your answer right there. Corrupt thieves running state-owned enterprises. Well, these children are the ones the United States left to die. Heartstrings video, I recorded something earlier, which I'll post from an activist who's complaining about America abandoning Mozambique's children because Trump ended foreign aid. In Mozambique, the health system is overwhelmingly built on U.S. money. When the Trump administration instantly pulled money, much of this funding without warning, disease and death spread. Spotlight and Ground Up visit one of the worst affected regions and describe a human toll. I'm not going to go into the story. It took 12 pages to print out the text on this thing. It's obnoxious and annoying. So the United States is not responsible for the death and misery in Mozambique. Mozambique is responsible. The Southern African Development Community is responsible. The African Union is responsible. Frelimo is responsible. They're the ones who've neglected Mozambicans and not done anything to change behavior. PEPFAR was a 5-year program established 22 years ago as a bridge, a temporary intervention to help countries get their act together. It gave them 5 years. 22 years later, 17 years after what was supposed to be the conclusion of PEPFAR and $130 billion of U.S. expenditures, Mozambique is still dependent on and done nothing to improve the situation. Unlike Botswana, which has made major interventions and dramatically reduced the prevalence of HIV among its adult population from over 38%, the highest in the world, to less than 13% today, Mozambique has done very little to improve the situation, suckling off the teeth of the American taxpayer, and these do-gooders want to blame us for death and misery. No. Now, we can argue about the morality of cutting the aid so quickly, but 22 years, someone should have been a leader and stepped up and said, this is our responsibility. Namibia's central bank is holding its interest rate steady. Namibia's central bank left its main interest rate unchanged on Wednesday, saying it wanted to safeguard the local currencies pegged to the South African rand and global risk were limiting its ability to ease policy. It was the second meeting in a row where the bank kept the rate at 6.75% after 4 cuts before that. So holding steady are the interest rates in in Namibia. Kenya complains about Iran targeting embassies, and they rightly do so. A senior Kenyan official said foreign diplomatic missions must be protected by Iran and Israel after a strike on Tel Aviv's Ramat Gan area on Thursday hit within several hundred meters of the East African country's embassy. 100% agree. Look, we're guilty of not protecting diplomatic missions. We did bomb the Chinese embassy in Belgrade during our bombing campaign. Remember that? And Serbia. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees reports record displacement in West and Central Africa. 12.7 million people forcibly displaced and stateless people are in West and Central Africa. That's a 48% increase since 2020. Well, yeah, because they're running roughshod in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria. Jihadists are displacing people left and right. Togo has suspended Radio France International, France 24 for 3 months. Wow. Togo suspended broadcast of French state-funded international news outlets RFI and France 24 for 3 months, its communications authority said on Monday, accusing them of a lack of impartiality and rigor. Suspension comes as tensions arise between Togo's leader Nasanabe and the opposition. Well, they've been covering opposition protests against the new constitution that created his new role. And the government doesn't like their coverage, so they've suspended him. At least 60 people reported to have died in 2 deadly shipwrecks off the coast of Libya as criminal alien invaders seek to invade Europe. The International Organization Migration reported these tragedies. Israel strikes hit dozens of military targets in Iran. IDF said more than 60 fighter jets were involved in the overnight attack on Tehran. European ministers press Iran to curtail nuclear activities. Well, yeah, like that's going to make it happen. As the conflict enters the second week, European foreign ministers were meeting Iranian officials in Switzerland to push for de-escalation. European ministers meeting with their Iranian counterparts, seeking solution. Not going to happen, folks. Iran fires more missiles into Israel and casts doubt on the talks. After Trump said you've got 2 weeks to reach an agreement, Iran's answer is more missiles. Iran sent a barrage of missiles into Israel Friday that hit several places, according to Israeli broadcasters. 2 people severely injured in Haifa. Both sides continue to trade fire, even as European ministers were meeting with Iran's top diplomat in Switzerland to cool the week-old conflict. Well, that ain't going to work, folks. It just ain't going to work. China flexes its chokehold on rare earth magnets. Yeah. As exports plunge. And curbs on magnets used in electric vehicles. Jet fighters are at the core of U.S.-China trade tensions. China exports of rare earth magnets plummeted after imposed controls on their overseas sale, emphasizing Beijing's dominance in a critical input into electric vehicles and jet fighters that has taken center stage. Total export volumes of rare earth magnets from China fell 74% in May from a year earlier, the biggest percentage decline on record dating back to at least 2012. Exports have fallen 45% in April from the previous year. The 1.2 million kilograms of rare earth magnets exported in May marked the lowest level since February of 2020. Exports of rare earth magnets to the United States slowed to a trickle, declining 93%. That followed a 59% decrease in April. Look at that. Rare earth magnets. So China's trying to chokehold the world. No, they're just good actors. Not. Malaysia probes the misuse of NVIDIA chips for artificial intelligence. Malaysian Trade Ministry said that companies have been advised to adhere to other countries' export controls to avoid secondary sanctions. Malaysia has no such controls, but they are trying to comply with other nations like the United States. While Malaysia maintains a neutral position on unilateral sanctions, companies operating here have been advised to adhere to other countries' unilateral export controls, which apply to their international business activities to avoid secondary sanctions on their business. Malaysian Trade Minister Tengku Zafrul Aziz visited Washington for talks with Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. So they're trying to prevent the Chinese from misusing our technology. Thank you, Malaysia. Juneteenth holiday goes uncelebrated at the White House. That's because it's not a real holiday. You want to celebrate the end of chattel slavery in America? It's December 6th. Come back to me with a federal holiday on December 6th. You'll get my wholehearted support. Well, criminal alien invaders are self-deporting, folks. Nearly 1 million have fled the country, thankfully. New survey-based estimate shows a steep fall-off in a key group used as a proxy for illegal immigrants. Yep, roughly 1 million illegal immigrants have left the country since January. Number of illegal immigrants has fallen by 1 million since the start of the year, perhaps due to their leaving in response to President Trump's election and stepped-up enforcement efforts. The decline was caused by a fall-off in the number of non-citizens from Latin America who arrived in 1980 or later, a population that overlaps significantly with illegal immigrants. There you go. Leaving town. An appeals court, the Ninth Circuit Court, has restored the Constitution and affirmed the president has the authority to activate the California National Guard without Gavin Newsom's consent, which is what Title 10 U.S. Code says, which is what a 1794 law says, and which is what the 1784 Insurrection Act says, or the 1874, excuse me. The decision blocks a lower court order that found the president exceed his authority because he didn't exceed his authority. A federal appeals court Thursday night allowed President Trump to maintain command of the California National Guard. Trump, in his Truth Social post, hailed what he described as a big win in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and the president's core power to call in the National Guard. And of course, the judge who shot him down was an octogenarian demon rat, brother of Stephen Breyer, the leftist judge who was formerly on the Supreme Court. That appeals court says Trump can continue to deploy the National Guard. Of course he can. That's clear matter of law. He deployed the troops to Los Angeles following protests over immigration raids, despite opposition of gruesome Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. The Immigration Customs Enforcement will resume operations at farms, hotels, but will focus on known criminals. Tom Homan, the border czar, says ICE will focus on illegal immigrants with a criminal nexus of trafficking, forced labor, tax fraud, or tax evasion. There's a right way and a wrong way to hire workers. There are legal programs that bring workers in. I've been saying this for years that Congress needs to address this, but because Congress failed, it just doesn't mean we ignore it. It's illegal to knowingly hire an illegal alien, and those people should be sanctioned, fined, or imprisoned if it's severe enough. The Los Angeles Dodgers are the latest leftist scumbag organization to defy federal law by blocking federal agents from accessing their parking lot. So my suggestion to federal law enforcement is to use public streets where you have the authority to block the entrance to Dodger Stadium. Set up checkpoints and check every car coming in. Inconvenience every Dodger fan. Make them wait hours to go to a ball game. The Los Angeles Dodgers are a rogue organization that needs to be reeled in. Immigration agents sought to access Dodger Stadium grounds ahead of the game. Los Angeles has been a primary site of clashes over law enforcement. The Dodgers blocked federal immigration agents from accessing Dodger Stadium parking lots yesterday. This morning, ICE agents came to Dodger Stadium and requested permission to access the parking lots. They were denied entry to the grounds by the organization. Tonight's game will be played as scheduled. Local media reported protesters arrived at the stadium after accounts of immigration agents near the parking lot had circulated in social media. Armed agents with covered faces stood near unmarked SUVs outside the stadium. Los Angeles Police Department said its role was limited to facilitating the safe departure of vehicles from the area. This is another example of federal administration doing everything in their power to strike fear and hurt hardworking families, said Diana Crofts-Palayo, Director of Communications for Governor Gavin Newsom. What fear do you have from immigration officials if you're not an illegal alien? There's no fear. There's no fear. If you're an American citizen, if you're a legal resident or permanent green card resident, if you're here on an H-2A visa as a migrant worker, you have nothing to fear. However, if you're a criminal, you should be terrified. And I think that the federal agents should simply block entrance to Dodger Stadium and inconvenience people. Send a message. Silver prices are surging. Wow. As a consequence of industry, which consumes about a third of silver. Silver has gone from $13 an ounce in just a few weeks to $25 an ounce. Well, discord in the MAGA community. Wall Street Journal felt the need to put an opinion piece out complaining about this. And they mentioned several things, including Tucker Carlson. The first week of a war with Iran could easily kill thousands of Americans, wrote Tucker Carlson. It would also collapse our economy as surging oil prices trigger unmanageable inflation. Consider the effects of $30 gasoline. Citing Russia, China, and the BRICS, an attack on Iran very easily could become a world war. We'd lose. What planet is Tucker Carlson on? Iran and Iraq fought a 10-year war. We didn't go into a global conflict. The Iranians attacked international shipping and sank oil tankers until the U.S. intervened under Reagan. We didn't have $30 gasoline. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? We don't rely on Iranian oil at all. We don't import Iranian oil. South Africa does. Europe does. Japan does. And that could have a global impact. And that's the news for today, folks. Got through that pretty quickly in just 30 minutes. How's that? 1,200 people currently here. Main reason why you can't have illegals is to protect their human rights and stop greedy, evil companies from creating very bad working environments. Okay, Marlon. Got the boys inside doing irritation kind. What's this? I have no idea what Mandarin's saying. Standard practice across African mass refugees, mass expropriation, ethnic cleansing, embezzlement of public funds, torture. Yeah. Chris Skuman says, what I see now after all, don't go to DHA alone. Doesn't matter in what town. Go in a group. We put in a good fight, but they held my door so I couldn't close or lock it. 6 inside your car? What are you talking about? What happened? People broke into your car? We will climb down if vendor Ramaphosa apologized to every Boer family that lost a family. Compensate. Just a reminder, take note, President Trump is a true Christian, not agnostic. Anita says the judiciary is not independent. They are appointed by a ruling party. And exactly, well, that's my point, Anita. But the Constitution says they are independent. The fact that the Judicial Services Commission, which under the Constitution is merely an advisory body, not the body that approves candidates, but that's what it's become in practice, proves that they're not independent. Yep. How is Gavin still the governor? Well, that's a good question. Zero gaslight is pure smoke and mirrors, says Jan, with an overinflated opinion of his importance. Yeah, indeed. Juneteenth sounds like something a drunk, toothless person would come up with. Yeah, exactly. Charles says it looks that way, or they're keeping some to retaliate in case USA attack them. Salomon Andre Ostoisen, God is not a democracy. Did you see reports of Chinese businessmen leaving Iran? It's amazing that air dominance is achieved so quickly. Do you think bunker buster will be used? Yeah, I think bunker busters will be used at some point. It's hard to buy made in USA. So much of our stuff is made abroad because the industry has abandoned us. Hermanus Johannes, 35 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. All African countries, dictators, which MK, EFF, and AC support and find ideas from relate to Marxist-Leninist ideology. A program reminder, folks. JP and Nadia, thank you for your membership. A program reminder, later today at 3 p.m., that's 9 o'clock South Africa time, I'll be doing the British and Irish Lions playing Argentina Pumas in Dublin on Rugby Ascendant. So you can catch it over there. Rugby Ascendant. Elise Dickens, good afternoon. Welcome to you. Garrett Gillich is here. Ingrid's the drive-in at Goodwood. The stock cars, ice rink, those were the days. My late husband's first stock car race is Goodwood. Era long gone. Yep. Well, as long as the missiles are going to on one side. Exactly, Joan. All African countries, the dictators, which MK, EFF, and AC support and find ideas relate to Marxists. They do, Marius. If we just declare an area, how can they stop us? De facto within days, de jure. Yeah, well, that's what's happening with informal settlements. What's to stop you from doing it? Marley says, very, very peeved off. Why can the insufferables insult whoever they want and get to have their identity protected, yet those who tell the truth and try to do good, their identity gets ripped to pieces? Well, because that's evil, the world. Janine83 gave a 40 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. And Lucas Wagner just became a member. Thank you for that. Someone just put 5 memberships there. South Africa's like the poodle who's going to be mauled because it jumped into a fight between pit bulls. Yeah, that's exactly right. Ramaphosa was smart to keep his mouth shut for a week. Now he's opened it. I don't know if he got caught by the press and he just, said we should have just ignored it. If you look at South Africa, it shows the dollar's lost value against the pound in Europe. IT was expected that Italy, the ZAR, should strengthen. We still lost the dollar this month. Yeah, even though the dollar's got weaker, you've lost against the dollar. People always seem to use children for political nonsense. You're right, PK. Everyone cheats. Money talks and bullshit walks, says Viking Love. Is it not America or Trump's job to care for other countries? Where's their own government? Oh, it is not. Yeah, you're right, Joe. It's not. But we've been doing it for decades. Oh, that picture makes me mad. No money, no food. Look at that little girl's hair. Yep, hair and beads. Yep. Surely Mozambique's children should be funded by Mozambique. That's correct, Joan. Yep. Gene says, ugh, you were spoken to by the anti-Shelley on a YouTube video. Your asylum video, you referred to a group starting with A, ending with S. Sorry if my vid got your channel flag, says Dan. New South African media policy parody up. Channel is now called Don Barnard. 100 Rand from Donnie. Thank you for that. No, don't apologize. I played it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't worry about that. Let's not talk about that. So, yeah, it's over. South Africa makes so much news and not one positive thing. Well, Darlene, I tried to find positive stories, but there were none today that I could find. Whitey's also cheats, says Viking. Skin color has nothing to do with dishonesty. Lots of people are dishonest. We were robbed at Home Affairs Day in our town. 6 stormed our car, took wallets and phones, had weapons against us. Good gods, Chris. That's what you were talking about. Man. Yeah, no one talking about the NC's relationship with Iran, China, Russia, basically close ties with the Red. Yep. African dictator leaders are the worst enemies. Agreed. It's not theft, just wealth redistribution. Okay. All right. I've caught up. Thanks for the super chats, guys. My wife printed all our documents today, over 300 pages. Wow, that's a lot, Ian. There's a part of me that considers applying for refugee status after being robbed by armed individuals last month. What are the chances that Trump leases a B-2 and crew to Israel for a few days? I don't think that's going to happen. Johann Nagel says, Danke, Colonel. Sie sind ein Segen für uns Afrikaner. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you to say that. Apparently, I didn't mention that person by name, but they go and make a video and attack me again. So they're coming full bore. I don't want to show the video on air because then, probably get a copyright claim by the person. So, that they seem to be that demonic. But you guys can go watch it. I'll go watch it on my own as well after we're done here and see what exactly was said. Saw an update on Zoe yesterday. All the money donated was used for hearing aids and speech. So now they have to raise money again for her. Yes, that's correct, Karen. I saw that. And I did say to people, I don't know these folks. I don't know what's going on here. I don't feel misled. I don't think she misled us, but I think maybe she was a bit naive about what was going to take place. I was surprised that it would only take $1,600. The impression I got, which wasn't what she implied, that wasn't what she stated, but I have incorrectly inferred that they must have already had appointments and knew what the issue was, and all she needed was to get this operation. And I know about this operation. I've seen it with infants who are born deaf and they can't hear, and they put like cochlear implants or something like that in there. And when they turn them on and the baby hears the mother's voice for the first time, it's so heartwarming. I incorrectly inferred that must be the case with where Zoe's at. But we know for a fact that Zoe obviously can't hear properly. Listen to her trying to talk. She can't do it. Bless her heart. So, guys, if you want to go over to there and help out, you can do that and donate money. That's on you. I'm not doing a current second round to raise money for that site. But the video is on YouTube, Jacques. It's on YouTube. Worked for 3 years in Mozambique. Government spent $7 million on second day end of war celebrations. Yeah, exactly. $7 million for the end of war celebrations. Yeah, Jozar. And, so they're going to pull at our heartstrings, and we have to pay for HIV for Africans. Questions from Geopolitical standpoint. What does China, Russia gain by supporting Iran? Well, Iran can do things that China and Russia can't do without precipitating a global thermonuclear war. Iran can attack and murder Israelis and Americans and others and get away with it without a global war, which satisfies some of the political objectives of Russia and China. That's one thing they get from it. Luca Wagner, 7-rand super chat. Thank you for that. It's as wonderful as when I got my son his first pair of glasses, the amazement of when he could see one clearly. Yeah, no doubt, to be safe. I really feel bad when I see kids, little kids and infants, toddlers, little kids wearing glasses, man. I had such amazing eyesight. Now I wear reading glasses now. 95% of adults over the age of 50 do wear reading glasses. I didn't start reading glasses till I hit 59 again. But it's also because my retina torn, I've got a floater in this eye, which messes up my vision. So it's not the same. And so it really struggles. So as a consequence, now I have to wear reading glasses a lot of the time. But I grew up with amazing eyesight. I could read number plates, license plates from a couple hundred meters away. Read that. 2Z75 XL1. Yeah, I could read that. I could see stuff way off in the distance. It was fantastic. I can't imagine not having sight or having, poor sight, and the same with hearing. It's terrible. I don't think there's anything positive about South Africa. It just shows, Dali, and occasionally I get some positive stories. I try really hard. There's the link to Zoe's video. I'll put it in there if you want to go check it out. Bonsai, a clip about top secrets. It was also good. Did someone watch it? What top secrets? I have no idea. Who's Bonsai Shongwe? Mark Vonderlinder, welcome to South Africa's Ring of Fire, Mozambique. Go down, down, down. The Ring of Fire. 13-year-old South African Camden Shapper has been signed up by English Premier League Chelsea for 17 million. Wow. That's crazy. Gold is late. It's okay. Hey, Chris, we'll be praying for you. I understand you're... Oh, it's not glaucoma. I don't have glaucoma. Good Lord, no, Alexa. I don't have glaucoma. No. I have a floater. The floater is a consequence of my retina tearing. My retina tore twice. So what they don't tell you is as you get older, body parts stop working just naturally. We already know that telomeres don't repair as easily. That's why you get crepe paper, especially women, waddle here and stuff. Your skin doesn't retract. It's not as elastic. It doesn't repair and heal as quickly because your telomeres are frayed and torn and they don't repair as well as they used to do. But the viscosity of the fluid in your eyeballs, it begins to clump over time and lose its viscosity. Normally, the fluid in there moves smoothly, but as you get older, it can clump up like little balls of snot. And those little balls of snot can float around the eye, and they just happen to float around and just catch your retina. They can drag it and tear it or rip it, detach it. You don't have to be hit. I always thought that, like detached retina, that was Sugar Ray Leonard got punched and he got a detached retina from being punched in a boxing match. I thought you had to have, concussion or a violent act, but no. You can have a torn retina or a detached retina from nothing. You can be sleeping and it could tear because it's just fluid in your eyes. And so my retina tore twice about 7 years ago. And wow, what a mess it was. So when it first tore, I was actually at a event with my students in the War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and we were in a restaurant. I walked out, and I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden it looked like, if you've ever burned coal in a coal stove, all that soot that comes off of it and gets up into the sky, it looked like someone was burning coal, and suddenly I saw coal, like cinders and little, dust come. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, wait a second. And I realized I wasn't seeing it out of this eye. So I'm like, okay, there's no coal dust. Wait, there's coal dust. What's going on here? And so I went back to work, and I drove home. It was difficult to drive home, but I could still see without corrective lenses. But it was like I'm accustomed to seeing, way off. But so the next day I came into work, and I was supposed to take an applicant for a job around. That's how we do it. When a new applicant comes around, someone sponsors them when they do their interviews and takes them around, shows them facilities and all this stuff. And so I had an applicant, and I took them around, and I was struggling. People could see that. And finally, the boss is like, you need to go see someone. So I went over to the clinic. It was on a Friday, and they have an optometrist over there, and she looked at it, and she looked in my eye, and she said, I'm going to refer you. So they got me an immediate appointment, and I went and drove over to Camp Hill, which is along the Susquehanna River, and went and saw more experience with, and better diagnostic equipment, eye specialist. And I saw him late in the afternoon. It was like 3:30 or 4 o'clock when I finally got in there. And he looked and goes, yeah, you got a torn retina. I said, what do you do? He said, well, we can fix that. It's no problem. It's painless laser surgery. I said, when do we do it? Well, right now. Okay. Well, okay. Took me in. They dilated my eye. Pupil opened up like a freaking, melon like that. And he went in with a laser, and lion SOB. Doesn't hurt? Oh my God. My fingernails clenched into the armrest of that chair as that laser burned my retina back in place. Oh, it hurt. It hurt. Anyway, so of course my pupils dilated, so now I got to wear those freaking Roy Orbison glasses, and I can't drive because my vision's messed up. So I had to stand outside in my fatigues for an hour and a half on a Friday in an empty parking lot, wearing those glasses, in a broiling sun when it was like, I don't know, it must have been about 32 degrees, 34 degrees, 36 degrees Celsius, 90 something. I'm standing there. Oh, it was horrible. I couldn't go anywhere. Had to wait for my pupils to close. Well, this pupil to close. And when the pupil finally closed, I was able to go. So I had taken my physical fitness test for the Army just prior to this. And you have to take them every 6 months or at least once a year minimum. And you have to have them for all your evaluations. You have to have a current one within a year of when you get your evaluation. Well, I was due for an evaluation because I had come there that time of year. So I had taken my physical examination like in April. This was in late May. And in June, after I'd had the surgery and I was told not to do anything, don't go running, don't do this, don't do that, they started haranguing me, the staff. Well, you haven't taken a PT test. I said, no, I did. But you didn't take it with everyone else. I said, I know, but it was a legitimate test. You've got the scorecard. It's valid. My evaluation's in. I don't need to take another test. They kept harassing me, and I got tired of it. I'm a freaking colonel. Why am I listening to this stupid stuff? So finally, after a couple of months, because I'm supposed to go back after 60 days to see this guy again. I went in 30 days. It was fine. Went in for the 60-day. But just before the 60-day checkup, which is going to be the last one for the surgery, I did the PT test. I went back in 2 days later, saw him. He goes, your retina tore again. So I had another laser surgery right there on the spot. And that was 7 years ago. It's been fine since then. But the floater is still there. It still comes in. It messes up my vision. It's like a Portuguese man of war. You're watching something, and all of a sudden it just kind of floats in and disrupts your vision. So your one eye's focused. The other one's trying to focus now. It's crazy. The thing of nouns, older than 50, go for a prostate check annually. Was born cross-eyed and had... operations 4 and 5 corrected. Suffered from myopia and astigmatation all my life. Had LASIK, fantastic until I got cataracts, but thankfully the cataract up. Gosh, Karen, you've had some tough breaks here. I'm glad your eyes are good now, though. Always wondered what happened, and my old man admitted. Thank you for everything you do for us and all the info you give us through. Much appreciated. Chris, your view on Queen Elizabeth on the way to the Middle East. Well, everyone's all in now, except the French, but they're surrender monkeys. I had to have both my retina replaced because of lupus. Ugh, good God, Amanda. Man, the audience today is a walking wounded. So very sorry. What's going on with Army? Is he back? Where is Army? I don't see Army in here. Peter Pumpkin Eater's here. Alan Gill's here. Miranda. Gancho Gatchev. Okay, active essay influencer, blogger in political field. Never heard of him. Yolanda says, don't worry, they'll stand by you. Well, thank you. Glaucoma 18 years ago. Wow. Glaucoma is such a common thing, you know? It's crazy. Got floaters in my eyes so irritating, especially when you look on a blank piece of paper. Apparently I have a cataract in my right eye now. Oh, my goodness. Ingrid says old age. Sorry to hear that, Ingrid. Oh, yeah. Susan says, okay, you said that. Someone just have something in their eyes and then my eye starts tearing. Tearing what? Colonel, I was born with Stargard's disease. I have a normal life, and that's what you make of your life, even if you can't see, still live life to the fullest. My wife drives me around on Harley. Wow, Wolf the Blind Biker. Stargard's disease. I have no idea what that is. Thank you for sharing that, Wolf the Blind Biker. There's Army. I got nice prostate. It was a shock. Oh, my goodness. Army, I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay, I hope they caught it early. Prostate cancer is one of the most successful cancers, just most survivable cancers. Yeah. That's why somebody said get your prostate checked after 50 every year. Floaters are very distracting. Hardly ever need to use glasses. Occasionally for reading. My second one op was done amazing. Female Cuban doctor, says Karen. Okay. Good evening, Chris, from beautiful winter evening in Durban, one of the only towns in the world you can walk around in shorts and t-shirt winter. Well, you can do it in San Diego and Los Angeles. Had to comfort my Afrikaans mate about our favorite cat. Cannot believe a TikTok. Oh, what did he get? Rocky Mountain Spotted Fever, something like that. I have a friend on Cyprus. He said the bases there are like an angry beehive. I'll bet they are. Well, because the Brits have folks there. Yep. Having the surgery Tuesday with a date. All right. Well, your father had it too? Okay, Army. It must be a family history of it. You're having the surgery Tuesday. All right. Well, folks, thoughts and prayers for Army 3275, who's been a recent, very busy chatter in here, except when he's had problems with his mom's health, now his own health. And hopefully they caught it quickly enough. Yeah, like I said, Alt's husband had one 2 months ago, and he's fine. Chris, thanks for convincing me to never get those surgery with all my surgery problems. Oh, my word. Oh, your surgery phobias. What surgeries? I'm not convinced you of anything, El Marie. You make your own decisions. Only wear glasses for PC. I get headaches after a while with not. Thankfully, my eyesight's still good, says Wills. Yeah, I think still good, not she's good. So it's not that great, Wills. If you get the feeling you need to pee a lot, it's sometimes prostate. Yeah, exactly. It can be. Hey, Colonel, just heard something terrible. My neighbor's kitten was shot in the head with an arrow. It's at the vet now, fighting for its life. Oh, my gosh. Probably some kid being stupid. Blind school, they even play cricket. Ball has a bell in it. That's interesting. Well, you just started having problems all of a sudden, and they found out. Well, thank goodness, Army 3275. Thank goodness they figured that out, man. Psycho Billy got glasses when he was in grade 6. Gave it in at schools, lost and found within a week. It's been 35 years. My eyes are just fine. I haven't walked into a closed door in the last 3 days. Oh my goodness. Rentia, what's going on? Is there a difference between South African national versus citizen, aka born here, living here since forever? Well, okay. So Alexia, that term is one that we use in the West. Okay. So for instance, I have a lot of people who move from Africa to the United Kingdom and they claim that they're English. You're not English. You're not English. They claim that they're Brits. They're not Brits. They're British nationals. They have a British passport, but their origin is not there. Now, if you're a Nigerian and you move to London and you knock boots with a little blonde-haired, blue-eyed English girl and you have offspring, those offspring can consider themselves English if they grow up in England. Absolutely. They have English DNA. They have English cultural affiliation. But you cannot be a Nigerian and move to London or Sheffield or Manchester or Leicester and claim you're an Englishman. You might live like an Englishman. You might eat your scones and drink your tea. And you might respect the Queen. Well, she's gone now, the King. But that doesn't make you English. Doesn't make you Welsh. Doesn't make you Irish. Doesn't make you a Scot. I'm none of those things. But I have their DNA from all those groups in my composition. So if I were to move to the United Kingdom and change my citizenship, I would not be English. I would not be a Scot. I would not be Welsh. I would not be Cornish. I would not be Irish. I would be a British national because I hold a British passport. So that's the distinction. That's a distinction. I get a kick out of watching black people and Arabs claim that they're Irish. You're not Irish. You're not Irish. You may be an Irish national with an Irish passport. So if you are a Mozambican and you move to South Africa and you become a South African, you're not South African. You're a South African national. A South African is born there, is of there, and is ethnically of that group. Yep. So there. Does that make sense? Mention you're having issues with YouTube. I'm also having issues every time I go to your channel and I keep getting knocked out. The issues are over alert. I'm not sure what's going on, why you're getting blocked there. What has to be explained, Wesley? Oh, about what a national and what a citizen is? Yeah. Some studies based upon cadaver exams estimate that more than 60% of men over 75 have some form of prostate cancer. I didn't know that, to think of now. That's pretty scary. Thank goodness I'm nowhere near 75. Very terrible thing happened this week. Elderly woman brutally murdered, found in bathtub in Pretoria. She was 81. Jeez. So if your parents weren't South African and you were born here and grew up here, you are South African. Yeah, Lynette. Yeah, technically, yeah. But culturally, now there's a difference there too, and sometimes it's applied from a cultural standpoint. So if your parents are Nigerian and you grow up in Gloucester, you're not English. You're a British national. I'm going to lay with my lovely wife to talk about things and have robust discussions. And Devette, that's too much information. Hey, Richard Reeves. I was born in Namibia before they became independent, so I'm a Namibian South African. Gotcha, Janine. Chris, you're a hybrid. Probably outlive us all. Well, occasionally I do open up my chest and pull out the thermonuclear reactor that keeps me going. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Friday afternoon. I mean, for the interest form, thanks for explaining, as I did not know what to click on there. Oh, Alexa, sorry. Did I talk about the interest form? Sorry. My last name is Langenhoven. I did the DNA test, confirmed I'm 70% Boer, 30% Canine. British and Dutch, but born here. The video you mentioned about what is that? The Facebook lady. Oh, yeah, it's the Facebook lady. Yeah, who's attacked me. Iron Man, exactly. It's the Starbucks. Is that what keeps me going? A good laugh the other day when I was in the hairdresser. I was born in the Congo, but told by Congolese that I didn't look like a Congolese. Eric, I get that. So I saw some video where some black South African YouTuber who I don't know interviewed Ernst Ritz. Somehow I got that link. Someone sent it to me. I went and watched a few minutes of it. And in the video, the guy legitimately asked, he says, so what's it like when you tell other Africans that you're an African? And so the point I have is, or you tell people in the West that you're African. My point is that if people are so ignorant and uninformed about Africa as to think that the only people that come from Africa are black, and that includes black folks, many black folks. If you're that ignorant, there's not much we can do to help you. Africa is home to hundreds of millions of people who are not black. Hundreds of millions. Arabs especially, Berbers, Asians, mixed race, white folks, Lebanese, lots of folks who are not black. The association of Africa with black is fundamentally incorrect. Fundamentally incorrect. Kwesi is Nigerian. Oh, is that the one, Gene? Is that what the video I watched? He's a Nigerian? Okay. I don't know. I just assumed he's South African. His accent was kind of weird. I couldn't figure it out. There was music playing in the background. Has anybody thought that every person alive today are descendants of Noah and his wife? My whole long, I believe I was a Dutch ancestry, only to discover that I'm 80% German. Well, Joe Czar Smith, if you're an Afrikaner, I could have told you that. So I've said this many, many times, and people just don't care, don't listen, choose not to believe it. The largest percentage of DNA in the pool of people who are considered themselves Afrikaners is actually German, not Dutch. German, followed by Dutch, followed by French, and sometimes some Khoi and San mixed in there, and even some African here and there. Yep. Mashtilli met with Putin. What message is Putin wanting to send to us? Who cares? I was playing Fortnite and told someone I was in South Africa. The guy asked, do you know Errol Sampson? Who is Errol Sampson? The paint on the wall behind you is whiter than me and you. The pain? Do you mean the paint? Well, I'm pink. I'm not white. That is white. I'm not white. Never been white. Been pink the whole time. Working with a lady from Uganda, and she only refers to me as her African brother. So cool. Exactly, Joe Czar. See, that's a person that's not a bigot. I love that. Exactly. What's Transvaal say? Some of these things are going by so fast. Okay, my grandfather of 85 asked us today to help him fill in his statement of interest. He says he will go and pack groceries if he's granted the opportunity. Wow, that is inspirational, Transvaal. Sorry to hear people want to leave South Africa, but yeah, it's inspirational. What will an American Afrikaner be called? Well, the Amerikaners have coined the term, so I guess you'd be an Amerikaner. My blonde friend in Greece calls me an African goddess. I agree, Colonel. When I tell them in Europe I'm South African, they expect me to be very suntanned and not pink. When I used to book on duty with the police and attend complaints, loud music, domestic, etc., I get told it's my culture, African. I always say that when I could hear a pin drop. Okay. Cannot wait to go to the black Americans and tell them African Americans, says Charles. Yeah, well, it's true. You're more African American than they are. Interracial dating has become very popular these years in South Africa. Yes, that's true. My sister immigrated to the UK 3 years ago. Someone asked her if she lived in a mud hut. It's funny. Ghana is actually a nice place in a way. Yeah, I've been to Ghana many, many times. I haven't been there a long time, though. I was supposed to go when lockdown started, but I couldn't travel. Steve Newbold says, rugby tonight. British and Irish Lions versus Argentina, Viva Stadium in Dublin at 9 o'clock. I know. I'm covering it on Rugby Ascent with my terrible rugby commentary. Yes. Wait, if I moved to America, am I African American? Yes, Chris, you would be an African American. When I was in the States many years ago, I was 12. Someone asked if I was from Australia, and I said, no, I'm South African. They said, where? Then proceeded to ask if I had a pet lion. Afrikaner with a Scottish name. At the airport in America, they kept me a long time suspecting my passport to be fake because I was white and not black from Africa. I said, yes, I'm white, just like 5 million other whites. Well said. Stupid people at airports. I can't believe that happened in this day and age. When we went to US in 93 and told people in DC we were from USA, they were like, but you're black. Yes, I'm African. I'm from Africa, residing in South Africa, and I'm a shade of pink in this rainbow nation. Exactly. I taught her to use a diary, record their arguments. She's better than I am. Student has become a master. Aha. Okay, send your channel so we can follow it. It's at Rugby Ascendant. for those who don't know, for the 1,000 people here, maybe somebody could show up there. At Rugby Ascendant. Let's see if it shows up here. And it does show up as the first one. Trying to push to 9,000 subscribers. Wouldn't that be cool if we get 9,000 subscribers today? We're at 8,780. Sucks, man. Having a hard time. That channel is going on 4 years old. This summer it's 4 years old. And still struggling to get to 10,000 subscribers. But I mean, I've had broadcasts with like 100,000 people rock up. It's pretty cool. Went to visit my grandmother in Northern Ireland. She told everything that I was coming from, everyone was coming from South Africa. They were all out in the street. They couldn't believe I was white. We'll see you there at 9, says Jana. Okay. When do you get your YouTube plaque? Well, MB, it was supposed to arrive today. UPS sent me an email late yesterday yesterday afternoon saying, nope, sorry, it's coming Saturday. So I don't know. Supposed to arrive today. So let me check the tracking number and see if I can find that. Hang on a second. So let me go to yesterday and check if I can find that email. It was one I would have read, so these are all new ones. So these are all this morning. My goodness, a lot of email this morning. Okay. It's going to be yesterday. By the way, folks, I've heard from Professor G. He's fine, by the way, in case you're curious. Heard from him last night. He wrote to me. He's fine. Just busy. Just very, very busy. Okay, so yesterday was the 19th. And the problem is, I hate it when it doesn't give you the time after a certain point. Okay, that would have been 2 o'clock. I think it was after that, or was it before that? Come on, where's this thing at? Let me just try this, okay? UPS. There you go, tracking update. Okay. Let me click on the tracking number and see where this damn thing is at. No, okay. It says on the way. It doesn't say out for delivery. Okay. Came from Oklahoma on the 18th, and it arrived at the airport on the 20th this morning at 2:16 in the morning. It doesn't say it's out for delivery. So, must be coming tomorrow. That sucks. Yeah, so I guess it's coming tomorrow. Well, it says tomorrow between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Well, gee, thanks, guys. Anyway, so yeah, it was supposed to be here today, but they screwed it up. All right, what happens to be what's a Bangladeshi? They asked me if I'm from India or Pakistan. Logan. Are you Bangladeshi, Logan? There's an area in Perth they call Gauteng because of all the South Africans. Well, there's an area in Monrovia called Congo Town because the slaves that were dumped there from the interdiction by the British, they were from the Congo. I don't watch rugby. I listen to the neighbors' screams and can judge by the screams, blowing horns, and silence means a loss. What happened, Professor G? He's just busy. He's not on the air right now. I had supposition what I thought was happening, but that's not really important. Let's hope they're not using South African Postal Service. Yeah, no, it's UPS, United Parcel Service. Sri Lankan. Okay. Are African Americans friendly, Chris? Many that I know are. Yeah, absolutely. If you're sending Christmas presents to the U.S., start now. It won't be a live, Alan. It'll be probably recorded. I mean, because how long can I stretch out, opening it up? That's going to be a couple seconds. So, just watched your Cyril Iran video. Absolutely pathetic. He's trying to play peacemaker. It must suck to see the project that he may have funded Iran go bust now. Yep. Pierre Leroux. Really hope today is Refugee Day. Something would be revealed by Refugee program. No, they wouldn't do that. That's International Day. I mean, look, the U.S. government doesn't really pay attention to so many of these dates. I mean, there's a day for everything. There's every event's got a day. Maybe they tried painting a gun on your plaque. Glad you're back. When you get your YouTube plaque, then you really film shooting it on YouTube. Yeah, well, no, I can't shoot it on the video now because if I shoot it, then I'm going to get blocked on YouTube. So I was going to shoot the plaque, but I won't do it anymore. Sent a box of marshmallows, eggs to my daughter. She finally received it 6 months later. Good Lord, some people think we have lions roaming the street. Well, during lockdown, you did have Gemsbach walking in the streets of the upscale neighborhoods in Pretoria East, yep. You missed the Western Cape yet? I suppose. Yeah, Auntie Floyd says, yeah, after all you've been through with YouTube this week, about the past 5 years, the demonic behavior of this platform the past 5 years. It's a miracle I've stuck with it. I only stuck with it for you guys. That's the only reason I'm here, for you guys. Yep. What's this No King Day thing? I never heard. Oh, Alexia, this is leftists trying to pretend that Donald Trump is acting like a monarch, a tyrannical monarch. So yeah, so they keep playing these stupid games, pretending Trump is, you know, an evil guy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So they had these protests, and they did it on the Army's 250th birthday. They have no class whatsoever. They are classless people. It's nonsense. There are channels, Demolition Ranch. All they do is shoot. Exactly. Well, they've also targeted firearms businesses. I mean, I know a couple channels that gave up that cover guns, and they talk to people about guns. They explain guns, gun safety, and they kept getting strikes. So they finally gave up. They had 2 million followers, and they just gave up and left YouTube. There's a guy in Pretoria that has a pet tiger. My dad wants to know if you were ever stationed. No, I was never stationed there. Elephant seal. Oh, yes, LZ Fondoyan, we are aware of that. I covered that story. That elephant seal, I can confirm, was confused. He wound up on Sir Arthur Lowry Pass Road near the KFC. He meant to land on the other side of False Bay because he was headed to Constantia to the U.S. consulate. He was trying to get to the U.S. consulate to apply for a refugee program. I can confirm with reliable sources that that elephant seal was with the first cohort of 59 refugees who flew to America. He was kept in a tank in the cargo hold that was heated, and he is now at an aquarium in Charleston, South Carolina, the Palmetto State. He is the first elephant seal to receive refugee status from South Africa. Yeah. It's a true story, folks. You guys don't believe me? Come on. It's a true story. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Honest engine, man. You don't believe me? Let's see what baby Chris has to say. I mean, it's just insane. Oh, it's been 3 weeks. Okay, get a grip. I mean, honestly, people have no idea what's involved here. A thorough background investigation must be completed. You have to prove who you are, where you're from, what you're saying is true. That has to take place. There's an administrative process that has to take place. Interviews have to be conducted. Medical screening has to be done. All this stuff takes time. Stuff takes time, man. It takes time. Yeah, the seal was desperate to get out of South Africa. Yeah. Okay. How long does it take to make a video you post on the channel? Well, it depends. Earlier, some videos aren't that hard. So let me give you an idea about the video on Sir Ramaphosa and his peacemaking thing. So that video, I came across that story this morning at 9 o'clock, I think it was. I read it, made a few notes, looked up a couple facts just to make sure I was straight, even though I knew my answer was correct, but I just want to make sure. And then I continued my business, prepping my news, getting the news stories in line, getting ready for the broadcast, and then dealing with a bunch of messages late in the show, or late in the preparation. I took a shower because I need a shower. Don't want to smell bad on air. So I took a shower, and then I left here at 11 o'clock, went to a nearby park to film, and just my luck, they're mowing the lawn. So I moved over to the edge of the park so the sound wouldn't be so bad. And then somebody in a residential area on the side of the park, damn, mowing, people cutting grass all the time. That's the hazard when more houses get built around you, more people cutting grass at all odd hours. So I'm finding it increasingly difficult to make videos here because of all the damn noise. I have to drive a couple kilometers away and go in the woods somewhere, but then there's always no trespassing signs. I don't want to get shot. So it's becoming frustrating making videos. But anyway, so I left here 11 o'clock roughly, went over there, and finally found a spot where I could record the video. And then I recorded the video. As soon as I started recording that video, some truck went by. Gunning his engine for no reason on a second, a side street, in a rural area where the speed limit is 40 kilometers per hour. It jerk off. Anyway, so I had to stop it after 40 seconds of recording, restart because I couldn't drown that out. But then the mower came back. But anyway, so you can hear the mower in the background. And I recorded my thoughts. That video, if I recall, I don't think there's any edits in. I think that's a one go. Some videos, like the video I did yesterday responding to a woman attacking me, I had to edit that video significantly. I said a lot of nasty things about the person in my original video, which were quite rude. And I didn't really want that on air. So I deleted those things, edited it. And that took a while. So that video, all the time involved researching, finding the article, reading the article, making some notes, analyzing it, going somewhere, recording it, coming back, editing it, because I have to edit and put the opening and the closing in there, and sometimes put breaks in there with the fade. That took another 20 minutes. So altogether, that video probably took about 2 hours when I put all the time together. But I didn't just record that one. I also recorded the video about the Mozambique thing, America's killing these children, and also one about Refugee Day, which I'll edit when I'm done here. So yeah, after I watched that lady's video where she's attacking me apparently. So yeah, that one took about 2 hours. Some videos take a lot longer. Some take days. Some takes weeks. Wait till you see Joe Emilio's documentary when it gets released. Man, he put a lot of effort into that. But he's got a professional team with him. I don't have a professional team. It's just me. Just me. Just me. No. Appreciate you keeping the stream open. Your only source of truth. Well, thank you, Marley. Ballistics are my favorite channels. I don't know those, Yassine. My sister got a letter from municipality warning them water disruption for 2 days prior to year-end stock taking. Stock taking? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. We expect an interview with the elephant seal. Oh, when can we expect? He's not a very friendly guy. Do you have a WhatsApp number I can reach you at? If it's private, you can DM me. Alert South Africa, send me an email, and I'll see whether it's, so. Relaxing positive energy. Glad YouTube sorted their cock. I tried Rumble in the meantime. Shame it's like YouTube's slow cousin. Exactly. Still lives with his mom. Yep. There's all kinds of problem with that site. But thank you all who've gone over there and subscribed to it. My Rumble channel suddenly has actually, a healthy number of people. Let me take a look and see really quickly how many people have it on now. So I have 1,495 on my channel. So if you all want to go over and subscribe and help me get some more subscribers over there, if you haven't done it, that's my Rumble channel. Of course, you have to have a Rumble account, but if you don't, get me over 1,500. The target was 1,500. I said do a live stream, but I haven't got 1,500. So, the Boer Rebel, Yopi Free and his family tree. Okay, wow, that's amazing, Peter. Okay, do you mean his face looks like a virgin who fell into a bowl of bleach? I don't know what that's about. Don't wave your marker. What's that? 70 Rand from Alan. We would pay on a different platform if required or hidden account to see unedited videos. Colonel, may I please call you after the live? I have news I need to discuss with you. Yeah, Mad Max, let me send me a note. Send me a note, Mad Max, and then I'll call you, okay? The passion you have in the fact-finding is just incredible. You're one in a million. Thank you. If South Africa's crime rate is relatively high, is it safe to say the United States is safe? Yeah. If you saw the lack of security in my property, there's no fences, there's no alarm system, there's no camera. Wait, I'm inviting people to come here now. No camera system. The only thing I have is in my front lawn, subterranean, buried, crew-served Gatling guns. And if you come on my property, I push one button on my stream deck, they elevate, when they turn on, and they obliterate. No, just kidding. It's like those laser-powered guns in Congo taking out the great white apes. No, but no, it's like I said before, I made the foolish mistake when I worked at the War College, coming home exhausted after long days of teaching and writing and working out and everything, coming home late in the evening and leaving the keys in the front door. I had to give myself a habit of not leaving my keys. And I left the door overnight, left the front door unlocked. Happened many times, yeah. So, no, is America safe? Well, look, I mean, I don't live in Chester, Pennsylvania. That's a dangerous place. Yeah. Baby Wyatt has your seal of approval. Well, thank you for that. I worked in a small town called Edders. There's a town in Edders in York County, Pennsylvania. Is that where you were at? Edders, Pennsylvania? If South Africa crime... Okay, got that right. Where's Marlon Quinn? I saw Marlon Quinn. There it was. Thank you very much for going the extra mile with fact-checking and bringing us the latest topics so quickly. I really appreciate that you keep us informed. You're welcome. Saw some videos on the AutoPen trial, assuming you might cover this once you've done. Yeah, well, I need accurate information on that. I didn't know there's a trial. There should be an investigation. How's there a trial already? See, that's refugee elephant seal. Yep. No burglar bars, no private security. You can walk your dogs at night. Yep. Hey, Lindy, what's going on? Alexia just subbed to the... Okay, thank you. Okay, Mad Max. Okay, we already got that. Mandy says, have a great day. If you want to know who's South Africa's next president, keep your eyes on Deputy Secretary General. She's about to make a power play. Okay. Morning. Thank you for all you do for the people of South Africa. It's really appreciated. Welcome. Gary Wild. Where do I find your email address? On the channel. One of the mods can post it here very quickly. Okay. 80 Security makes adverts basically mocking the refugee. One was actually pretty funny about a tank in Texas. Yeah, I think I saw that one. You should create a blooper Substack. We'll pay to see that. Gatling gun, yep. Really, Bots likes to listen. Well, thank you. Dang it, so we're going to have to leopard crawl to your, on our spots when we want to set up our FEMA tents. We've all got dodgy neighbors, Alan. Phantom, I must be colored. I was born pink, grew up white. When I'm cold, I'm blue. When I'm sick, I'm green. I'm going to start a lawn service business in central Pennsylvania. Well, I'd pay for it because I can't mow my lawn right now. I'm in pain. It is displayed on the channel. You have to go to the About tab. One of the mods, please post it. There it is right there. Erica put it up. There you go. Any large trees in your yard? No, Charles. No, the trees were planted when I moved in, and so they're not that big. So, well, they're large. I mean, they're 15 meters. That's not very large. Stay off my lawn. Get off my lawn. Electric fence, beams, 2 dogs outside, a gated area, 2 inside, 4 gates inside my house. No gates, just seems unreal. Yeah, it is unreal. I guess Rupert is your neighbor. Yes, Johann Rupert is my neighbor. I can confirm that he sleeps next door. He leaves the doors open. There's no security. It's safe here in Pennsylvania with my neighbor, Johann Rupert. He's the one that convinced me to buy Richemont stock. Yeah, that's why I bought Richemont stock, because of Johann Rupert. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't really need a Gatling gun. Cannot think of a better and more knowledgeable man than the Colonel. Thank you so much, Devet Martens. Okay. Well, all I thought is that there was almost no Democrats that pitched up the auto pen, a room full of simply empty. Okay. Almost done in Josie. Well, that's good. Then dirt bin. Oh, you're going to see Charles? That'd be cool. No, he's not my friends with benefits. One of my ancestors was bequeathed Cecil John Rhodes' cottage, but it wasn't in his written will, so no cottage. There's a Long's Walk in Kimberley named after, who is interesting. I don't know what Austin Major is, Wills. Mariska says, like hell. What, are you talking about the elephant seal? You'll make a great get off my lawn. I should make a video. Get off my lawn! I have a push mower. I don't have a riding mower. It's not big enough. Although, at some point it will be. Why are you guys going on about me not liking my neighbor? Richmond is something twisted that's more twisted as being born in a country that no longer exists. The trans guy, the cis guy, Bophuthatswana, Southwest Africa. We'll camp in your backyard. We don't want to lower your property values. Well, that's where I put the solar panels on the back side of the roof. They're all on that side. Yeah, the Darwin Award definitely goes to Julius Malema. That's for darn sure. Let me see if you sent me a message here. So, yep. So in an hour and a half, we'll be on Rugby Senate with, excuse me, with the British and Irish Lions versus the Pumas. Let me see. Okay. What's somebody saying? Someone's telling me to play this on my channel here, but Elmarie Swartz gave 140 Rand this morning. A lady posted a photo driving behind a white bakkie with a dusty black window. The words written on the dust: kill the boer, kill the farmer. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Elmarie. Thank you for the 7 Rand super chat. How big is your yard? Not big enough, Days of Thunder. And do you have a post box with a flag going up when the box is full? No, the flag isn't for when the box is full. The flag is what you put up before the postman comes to let the postman know they need to stop at your house, even if they have no mail, to collect the mail. That's what that is. And by the way, Joan Stewart is leaving. Well, I'm sorry to see you go, Joan. We're almost done here. So, by the way, the federal government passed legislation that forces new homes, new development, new communities to no longer put post office boxes or mailboxes in front of properties. When you own a freestanding home, now, because this development they're building next to, adjacent to where that's another phase of this thing. It took 10 years for them to start it. That, which used to be a field full of horses, that development, all the houses there have to walk, some of them over a kilometer, almost a kilometer, well, not a kilometer, 600 meters, to get to a central place out in the open, like they live in an apartment complex. They have to walk down the street for up to 8 or 10 minutes to collect their mail every day. Government intruding. Why? I've already offered the colonel a farm. The man hears that, but shy about it. Where did you offer me a farm at, Devet Martins? What farm did you offer me? F-22s. Yeah, well, the problem, Holden, is this, is that ostensibly it's so that the UPS, or not UPS, United States Postal Service saves time by going to one stop and just filling up all these boxes. But it costs all those people a significant amount of time, and UPS, DHL, and FedEx still deliver to every house. So why should the Postal Service get that artificial advantage? Do farmers successfully farm at 12 to 20 hectares U.S.? Well, Mad Max, that's a silly question to ask me, man, because it depends where you're at. It depends what you're growing. It depends what business you're in. 12 to 20 hectares and you're a honey producer, that's plenty. That's plenty. If you're a garden vegetable producer, that's probably plenty. A dairy farmer, that's enough to run a small dairy. We have to drive to a post office to collect mail in Namibia. That's BS. It should be delivered to your home. Yeah, the government always intrudes, Dylan. You're right. T-shirt saying stupid people don't wear signs. They wear red berets. Oh, that's good, Eric. I like that one. Walking is good exercise. Yeah, sure. In the wintertime when you've got a toddler and there's ice on the street and you fall and break your hip. Yeah, that's wonderful. As my opa always said, don't thank me, buy a farm. Well, buy me a farm. There you go. Why are you still paying these workers with checks and not direct deposit? Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. They want to know about trees so we can put up our hammocks. Yeah, no, my trees are not close enough. My apple trees are slow. The soil's poor. They haven't grown very high. I have 2 apple trees in the backyard. I have raspberry bushes on the side, which have yet to produce raspberries, and by now they should have already produced quarts and quarts by the middle of June, and nothing has come yet. There's flowers, but I don't think the bees are here this year. They're not pollinating them. And I have trees in the front yard, but there's nowhere to put a hammock up. Do I have a homeowner association? Do they mandate what you may or not? Yes, they do, but it's pretty thin. There's not much to it. It's not like some of these oppressive ones. Desmond's brother got a call today from the embassy. Living in an agriculture area, we can only use a P.O. box and some satellite station if they have available. Okay, Furry Toast, thanks for sharing that. Oh yeah, we have all kinds of farming, including intensive. Don't worry, Chris, my wife has green fingers. Okay. Secret agent man. I'm not playing that today. Right, guys. Golden buzzer for Desmond's. What did Desmond say or do? We're seeing the car guard jobs all taken. No, I don't have fruit for you. I don't even know if there's any apples growing on it yet this year. Last year I had a couple apples. The year before I had a bunch of apples. If it's reported for hate speech, then we'll laugh at her and advise her to do that. What's this? Desmond. Okay, what did Desmond say? I got to go back to this. Hey, Sedgefield, what's going on? Mark Davey? I don't see that. Anyway, I don't know where that's. I don't know what was said there, so sorry. New job idea. Taking mail and delivery to your front door. There you go. I hope the embassy also emails. I don't usually answer my cell phone. I plant a fig tree. Looks very good now, okay? Rhino Girl's out here. Thank you for everything you do, says Joshua von Skalkvik. To hear the updates without drama and nonsense is what keeps us all motivated and hopeful. There you go. Chris Wyatt is late. Well, you're very late, brother. We're about to wrap up here. We're about to wrap up. No, I saw that. Desmond's brother got a call from the embassy. Katie says, thank you for sharing your time and knowledge with us today and love listening to your thoughts and laughs on topics. Cool beans. All part of RFK Jr. Making America Healthy Again. Daily exercise. Well, daily exercise is good unless you can't walk. Yep, I used to exercise every day. 3 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours in the morning, and an hour and a half for an hour in the evening. Every single day. El Marie, 20 minutes behind. That's what's going on. Okay. See you guys at the rugby. Let me see if anybody signed up for the oh, we got four more subscribers at 1,499 now in Rumble. Wow. Close. All right. The person that wanted to call me better send me a text. I don't see any text yet. So, well, I'll probably root for the Pumas, but I'll be wearing a British and Irish Lions jersey because I have one from the South Africa tour. Yep. All right. That's it. What's 953? Likes? Oh, yeah, we're not quite 1,000. Before I moved, I was sent a CD from UK. Still waiting for it in second. Good God. Thank you for a cool live today, says Varoshka. You're very welcome. Are most South Africans relocating in the U.S. more drawn to rural areas of developed towns? Well, that's a question. Who knows? We can answer that question. It doesn't matter what you're drawn to. It matters where they send you, and that's not in your control. That's going to be it, folks. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit the like button. And don't forget, in an hour and a half, we'll be on Rugby Senate for the British and Irish Lions versus the Pumas. All right? See you there. Thank you very much. Be sure to hit that like button. We're 30 likes away from 1,000. Make it happen, folks. Make it happen. Cheers, and thanks for being here. I really appreciate your support for the program, and have a lovely evening. Watch my videos. I got more coming up. Cheers, cheers.